Hello and welcome to Dishing Delights. My name is Jenica and we just got home from my husband's grandparents' place. They had some berries, so while he loaded up a trailer, I picked a few real quick. I figured I'd come home and just pick some berries with you guys as well because I have a whole lot of berries that we have been picking from the last week. So right now we are going to be picking some black raspberries and also some mulberries, and I'll show you how I have been harvesting those. So I'm going to put on a podcast and get to berry picking. Well, I just finished up in this little area and I have my quart filled now. I have 2 more containers. I'm going to fill these up with berries and then I'm gonna head inside because I am getting bit up like crazy out here.
We have these black raspberries all along our property edge and also along the path that leads down to the river. And this is the first year that we are harvesting these. We are hoping to get 3 gallons put up in the freezer. We also have these mulberry trees that are slowly coming to an end here. We have harvested 20 pounds so far. Most of these were freezing. I've also made some jam, and I have just been laying a tarp down, and 2 to 3 times a day I come and I scoop them off of that tarp. Doing this, I have to wash that tarp every few days, but this has been such an easy and effective method to harvest a large amount of berries. I ended up taking a bit of a break because it started to rain, so I weighed out my black raspberries and I had just over a pound, so I was pretty pleased with that. And I also had to clean my mulberries. Before I tossed them into the freezer, I laid them out on a baking sheet. I picked all of the leaves and anything that may have fallen onto the tarp. Then I rinsed them in some water, laid them back out onto that baking sheet. You can use parchment paper if you want, but I don't like to waste that. I just freeze them right on the baking sheet, and once they are frozen, I just add them to a freezer bag and they're prepared for smoothies. So that's a great way that I am trying to really extend my food budget by just harvesting from my backyard. It started to sprinkle a little bit earlier, so I came inside and it never ended up raining. So I went back outside and I pulled another pound of black raspberries off. I now have 2 pounds in the freezer and it was such a great day.
Good morning. It is the next morning now. I thought that yesterday it was gonna rain. It never rained. So I have to water my garden now. It is 8:23 in the morning and I'm just gonna sit out here for the next 45 minutes, water my garden, drink my coffee, and then after my husband mows the lawn, I think we are going to go on a kayaking trip. So I want to get all of this done, maybe make some trail mix, and then I'll share with you what else we do.
I am going to be showing you an update on my garden later on this week. I need to really get in there and weed. I've been weeding like 2 rows at a time once a week, and I need to like really attend to it this week. But I have just been watering it twice a week for about 45 minutes to an hour. I actually went online and I looked up a garden watering calculator, so I will try to remember to link that down below because that really helped me know how much to water for my space, because this is all brand new to me.
All right, it's been about an hour. I'm gonna go get my second cup of coffee and then I'm gonna make some breakfast with you. All right, let's make some biscuits. So I'm going to take a couple cups of flour. I'm just loosely measuring all this. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. A half teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to mix this and then I will mix in my Crisco. Now I have my oven preheating to 450 degrees right now. Ooh, and that is now preheated. Now for my Crisco, it says I need about 1/3 of a cup. What I do is I just pinch my Crisco into the flour and I just keep pinching until, I think pea-sized pieces is what most people say, but I make them a little bit smaller. Once you start making these, you will really get the hang of the texture that you will need. It just takes a little bit of practice. Any recipe has pretty similar techniques. Just gonna add a little bit more. Now my pieces are broken up pretty good. I'm gonna add my milk. You should add buttermilk. I don't have buttermilk on me right now, so I actually just use some powdered milk with some water. You're gonna barely mix this because you don't want to over mix your biscuits. I'm gonna wash my hands off real quick. Then we'll form our biscuits. I'm just going to lightly roll this out. And I got a little bit of ghee I'm gonna put on the bottom of that pan. Just add that all over the bottom. You can add some butter, some oil, whatever you'd like. And then I am just going to make my biscuits. And for the extra, just going to kind of take the leftovers, make little crazy biscuits out of them. Then I'm going to put these in at 450 for 10 minutes. I'm gonna fry myself up an egg. Now I am going to take one of my biscuits and I'm going to serve an egg and a little bit of cheese on top of that. But I also have here some mulberry preserves and I am going to show you how I made these. I'll insert that right here. All right, I have 1.5 pounds of mulberries here. I just rinsed them. I'm going to take these and I'm going to pull the stem out, set it aside, and then I'm going to do that with the rest of these berries. You guys, I'm traumatized by prepping these mulberries. Oh my gosh, I started this project at 5:21 and this was only taking the stems out of 1.5 pounds of these. And I checked the clock a few minutes ago and it was 7:36. All right. So this, there's no heat on. Just letting you know that. What I'm doing is we are going to do a layer of mulberries. And it's 1-to-1 ratio, mulberries and sugar. Do the second layer. All right, that is the 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm just gonna let this sit for 4 hours and then we'll cook it. We're letting all of that sugar dissolve. Is it worth it? We shall see.
After 4 hours, all of that sugar was dissolved. So then I turned it on to a medium heat and let that come up to a simmer. And then I let that simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, I added in a tablespoon of lemon juice and that was it. it turned out into a really thick consistency. I think next time I might make it a little bit thinner. I might have cooked it a little bit too long, but this was so delicious nonetheless. I cannot believe how great this is. I actually served it over ice cream, and that was a winner. So I am just taking these out of the oven right now. They look perfect, and I am going to cover these with a towel and let them steam for about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, let's make our breakfast. I'm going to pull out one of my biscuits. Oh my goodness, they look absolutely stunning. Like I said, on one side, I'm going to add a little bit of cheese and my egg. And on this side, I'm going to add some of my preserves. I'm actually just going to fold this in half because that's how I like to eat it. And that is my super simple breakfast. It doesn't look phenomenal, but this is going to be so delicious. All right, we're gonna make some granola. So I never actually go with the recipe, but to start off, I'm going to take some coconut oil, and this pan is warm. I let it preheat with the oven. The oven is at 325. So there's my coconut oil. I am running out of my brown sugar, but I'm gonna put about 1/3 cup there. Some maple syrup as well, about just the same amount. Also going to add in my salt, just a pinch. And I don't have any vanilla extract, so I'm going to use some almond extract. So one thing that I really wanted from Azure, but I wasn't able to get it last time. Now let's add in our oats. Whoa, a little carried away there. I'm really gonna break that coconut oil up. I'm going to add some cinnamon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. Halfway through, I'm going to stir it and add in my walnuts. Going to add in my walnuts now. These will go in for like another 20 to 25 minutes. Pretty good. I don't make mine too sweet. Just a little bit sweet, because I am going to add some chocolate chips. Sometimes I add dried cherries, almonds, whatever I have on hand, raisins. But this time, I'm going to keep it super simple. So once this is fully cooled, I'll add it to a mason jar, and then we have our granola. Perfect snack for a kayaking trip. I just added chocolate chips to the trail mix, and now that is all set to go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit like, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload my next video. Thank you so much for watching.